everyone, so for today's video I wanted to do a quick little review on a foundation I've been using the past few weeks. I had actually filmed a first impressions of this foundation, so I filmed myself putting it on for the first time and then updates throughout the day, and when I went to edit the video the footage I couldn't use it. There was so much background noise and it was a disaster. So I decided to just keep using it for another couple of weeks and then I could do a proper review on it. The foundation that I'll be talking about today is the L'Oreal Nude Magique Cushion Foundation. I've been using this for probably 3 weeks now, I think. So this foundation, it's not a new release to L'Oreal, but it's a new release to the UK. It's not been out for that long. I'd not really heard that many people talk about it even when it did come out in like the US. So as soon as it came out in the UK, I thought I'd just go on a whim and just give it a go. This is the foundation. I like the packaging. It's got like a sort of pink and purple kind of plastic packaging, and then you open it and you've got a nice mirror. It did come with a sponge. I don't know where I've put mine, but I don't normally use it to apply the foundation anyway. And then you open this bit out and then your foundation's in there. So it's basically like a sponge or a cushion which is soaked in the foundation. I had no idea how I'd feel about this kind of packaging, and to be honest with you, that's one thing that I'm still on the fence about. I don't know how I feel about this kind of packaging. So that's how it comes. It also, unless I'm just not reading it properly, I can't find anywhere where it says on here how much product you actually get, like in grams or millilitres or anything like that. So that I think is a bit weird. I've even opened up the back sticker to see if it says it on there. I just can't find anything to say like how much product you get in there to compare it to how much you'd normally get in a foundation, which is normally about 30 mils. So that's one thing that I did find was a bit weird. I got mine in the shade number 3. It doesn't say the shade on here. It comes with like a clear sticker which says the shade. When I went in, I found it so difficult to find my colour because they only had testers for the darker colours. If you watch my videos, you'll know that I love the L'Oreal Lumi, the liquid Lumi Magique. I get mine in the shade W3, and these only come in shades like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty sure it was 1 to 10, I might be wrong. So I had no idea what colour to get, so I went with 3 just because I thought it was the third darkest shade, and that's what I am in the Lumi Magique, which probably isn't the best approach to take to find your colour foundation, but I had to go on a whim because there was hardly any testers for any of these foundations, so I just had to guess. I'm pretty sure though in the States and maybe in other places as well, it actually comes in the shades like the True Match and the Lumi Magique, the liquid one, because it says like, I've seen them where it says W3, N2, C, whatever. So that's one thing that I don't like, is I don't understand why companies have foundation and the shade range is different depending on what country you're in. That I don't get. I paid $9.99 for this. It was on offer because it was new. It's normally $14.99 I think, or £15. That is it's pretty expensive for like a high street or drugstore foundation. Because the reason that I bought this is because it says it's like a dewy, glowy sort of foundation, and I've been into really sort of glowy skin lately. I knew that it was supposed to be like a sheer to medium coverage foundation, which is fine because I normally like a medium coverage. It's very rare that I like to go full coverage with my foundations unless I'm going out or anything like that. So I thought this would be nice as like a day-to-day foundation. When I initially got it, because when you open it, it has like a sort of peel-off thing that's over the sponge. When I first got it, it really didn't smell nice. As soon as I opened it, I smelt it and it smelled almost like damp. Like I felt like you could tell that liquid had kind of been trapped in somewhere and it just had no, like it didn't breathe. But so I was not impressed with the smell at all. However, it doesn't smell of anything now. When I went to use it the second time, I actually noticed straight away that the smell had gone down a lot. It was still there slightly, but it had gone down. So obviously the foundation just kind of needed to air out a bit to get rid of the smell. So just to let you know, just in case you get it and you open it and you think it's off or anything like that, don't be put off by the smell when you first get it. I promise it does disappear. I've always used a primer with this foundation, and I've always used the same one, my Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm, and I've always sort of set it in the same way. The only thing I've done different is I tried it in 3 different ways just to see which one I prefer. I've tried it with my Sigma Flat Top Kabuki, my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and my Lab Squared like Beauty Blender dupe sponge. And I have to say that my favourite way to apply it is with the sponge. I just think you get a lot of nicer finish. It's not streaky or anything like that, and you can get a much more heavy coverage with it. So I definitely recommend using the sponge, in my opinion, to apply it. When I first put it on, I loved it. I was quite surprised of how much coverage it actually gave, and it did have a really nice glowy finish. I'd say it was more glowy than dewy. I don't know if this is just my skin, because my skin can get quite oily, but I feel like it does soak up a lot of product, so it is almost a bit dehydrated. So I do find myself putting on quite a lot of moisturiser just to make sure it's hydrated, but throughout the day I can get a bit oily, and obviously now that, you know, we're in summer, it gets a lot hotter, so that obviously doesn't help. Just loved the way it looked on my skin, and the shade 3 was a perfect match for me when I had fake tan, so I was happy with that. I wore it throughout the day and it was fine. The only thing I found is it kind of broke up a bit around my nose, which I thought was normal, and then at the end of the day it kind of rubbed a bit off on my chin, but I'd been sat down for ages like this on my desk, so that probably didn't help. The thing that concerned me when I first started using this foundation was, because it didn't say about how much product you get, I wasn't sure about how long it was going to last. After using it for, you know, a couple of weeks, I'm still not sure sort of how long it would last to someone if they used it on a daily basis. I have read, however, that you can take the sponge out and turn it over so that you get maximum effect from using it. And if that's the case, I haven't actually tried to do it yet because I want to wait until I feel like I don't have that much product left. But I do feel like if you do that, there probably will be a lot of foundation on the other side of the sponge, so you should get a lot more use out of it. It's definitely a sheer to medium coverage. I find because I prefer closer to medium coverage, I do use a lot more product. So for me to say it runs out quickly is just my own personal use of the foundation. It's not anything bad about the foundation because it isn't marketed as a medium to full coverage foundation. It does have a really nice finish, and it does help to kind of just even out your skin tone. Like, I've got it on today and I've got a few hormonal breakouts around my chin and it's covered it up nicely. I haven't sort of put loads of it on, and obviously because it's a bit darker, I've mixed in some whitening drops with it as well, which I actually just put on the sponge and just sort of mixed it all about. I found that it's, you know, I can still even get it to match now. And normally when I'm pale, I don't like too much coverage anyway, just because I find that it can make me look even more pale. I would just rather use a bit more concealer to cover up like my under eye area and stuff like that than have a heavy coverage. I still do like this foundation. I do think it gives a really nice finish. I am finding, especially now that we are, you know, we're officially into summer and it's getting a lot hotter, I do find myself having to set it a bit more, just because I tend to get a little bit more oily when it comes to the summer. I definitely think that this would be great for someone who's got dry skin, just because it's very glowy and very hydrating. If you've got more oily skin, then I'd just be careful. If you like that kind of glowy look, then you could use this. I would just use like a mattifying primer, so something like the Smashbox one, or even like the Benefit Professional. If you're really, really oily and you normally like a matte full coverage foundation, then you won't like this. I don't find it emphasises any sort of pores or any like dry areas or any fine lines or anything like that. But I don't know whether or not I'll be repurchasing this myself, just because I know that I love my Magique, the liquid one, better than I like this, so I will continue to purchase that one. But I still would recommend this for people with more sort of dry skin, or even combination. Just make sure that you set, you know, in areas that you get oily, so like your T-zone and stuff like that. So yeah. So I hope this quick review has been helpful to some of you. If you've got any more questions about the foundation that I haven't mentioned, just leave them in the comments down below. If there's any other foundations you want me to do reviews on, also let me know, and let me know if you want it like this, or if you want me to do like a first impressions where, you know, you see me apply it for the first time and then I give updates throughout the day. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.